Shut up, listen up, everybody, what up? Gonna put it in a podcast, but what's up? We talk, we laugh, we sing, we dance, we'll do anything if you give us a chance. We'll play one time, it helps us out. All truth, no lies, no, it's never a doubt. If you like rants, tirades, and honest opinions, we shoot from the hip and we're here with precision. Give us one chance to play Opinion Bros podcast.
So, welcome to a new episode of Los Piños Bros podcast. I am Armando, the oldest. We have...
Blurp?
is that like your podcast name now going forward? You just be like, oh man, I remember the first time I heard Blurp.
My song artist name is Kid Moses. I haven't thought of a podcast name though.
Oh, we had to think about names. I just using my real name.
Yeah.
And then so that's DJ Moses. Kid Moses?
Kid Moses is my songwriter name.
All right.
Jesus.
All right. Well, he's also known as Alberto 333. And finally, we got the baby of the bunch,
Mr. Pina Zombie.
Mr. Pina Zombie. It's Baby Che, Alex, joining us. Today's topic, I thought since the new Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out.
Yeah, it's pronounced Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
El Spider-Man.
El Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
El Hombre Araña is coming out December 17th, and it's using various villains from Spider-Man's film history, including the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Sandman, Lizard, and Electro.
I'm not a bad guy.
Just had bad luck.
Bad breath.
Yeah. Come on.
Now I'm Sandy.
Yeah, everywhere. I hate sand. It's
It's like glitter. It gets in everywhere.
Yeah. So I thought it'd be pretty fun to talk about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. So we'll probably go into each of the movies, what we remember from them, what we liked, what we didn't, things that has stuck with us, any little anecdotes that might pop into our heads. We'll probably go on tangents and probably start quoting stuff either from these movies or from just random shit that just pops into our head, because that happens all the time. So starting us off, the first Spider-Man movie came out back when I was a senior in high school. It was May. Let's see. This was back in May 2002. Do you guys remember like the first time you saw Spider-Man, like the trailer or anything like that?
I mean, I just remember being excited. There were certain things that I don't think I liked, but I was more like looking forward to it than like, I don't care. I just want to see it. You know what I mean? I can tell you, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember watching it when it came out, like right away.
Yeah.
But I do remember, one of the guys at Crystal Ray, they had asked him what you thought of Spider-Man or what he thought of Spider-Man, and I remember really disliking his response because he said, I didn't like it. It was too much like The Matrix. And I'm thinking like,
what movie did you see?
What? Like, yeah, because it came around the same time, maybe a year
Matrix
or two.
came out, if I was a senior when it came out, Spider-Man, then Matrix came out, I think I was a sophomore. So it was a few years before. I think it was 99.
99.
This was 2002.
See, yeah, I mean, looking back at the movie, I think about that response all the time, and I'm just like, I don't know what he's talking about except...
They both take place in a city.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of is when he uses his spider sense. And
like
it goes around everything. But like that, I don't know. Like that's maybe.
It's because Spider-Man wears sunglasses and a trench coat.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's one of my first memories with that.
Alex, do you remember?
I remember. They only showed it for Final Fantasy. They didn't show it for X-Men.
The trailer?
Yeah, because I remember seeing the trailer. The one where, like, the Twin Towers came out, and he webs it with the helicopter. He webs the helicopter with the Twin Towers. I remember seeing that.
So they...
And then they took it down because
because of 9/11. No, because X-Men was in 2000, so they wouldn't have shown it there.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, no, my memory was... I remember when I used to watch, like, Entertainment Tonight, because they would show trailers there, because we didn't... Back in the old days, we didn't have like YouTube where we could just watch trailers and it would be watched like 50 million times.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember watching Entertainment Tonight. They're like, "Oh, the new movie, Sony's Final Fantasy, the movie, will be showing the trailer for Spider-Man." So I remember me and my best friend Christian ended up going. We were running late to go see Final Fantasy just to watch the trailer, and it was that trailer that you said, Alex, the one with the Twin Towers, where you see like this big bank heist going on, and you don't see Spider-Man until like the very end.
Did Sam Raimi direct that too?
Yeah, because from my understanding, it was going to be part of the original movie. So basically, you follow this bank heist, and they steal the money or whatever. They get on a helicopter, and then like the helicopter's flying through this New York City skyline and going through the Twin Towers, and then it just like it gets jerked back, and you just see this giant spider web across the Twin Towers. And then you just see Spider-Man's face, and then you just they're playing. What was the name of that song? That I'm gonna leave you far behind.
That's probably why they thought it was the
Matrix. Because of that song. That yeah. So and then I was like, holy shit! Like he's just flipping around, web slinging, and like I was sold. And luckily I saw it opening day back before things were like sold out. It was a Friday, and that movie was a game changer. I mean, I give credit to Blade and X-Men for paving the way for like Marvel movies, but Spider-Man was like the first time you saw like an actual comic book character come to life. Like if Superman 78 made you believe a man could fly,
it
like like Spider-Man just like he was real. They didn't change his costume like the X-Men, like, you know, they didn't give him like a leather costume.
Yeah.
I remember that costume looking garbage.
Which one?
That one from the first movie when we were seeing it and like Wizard and stuff.
Spider-Man 1?
Yeah, I was like, man, this costume's gonna suck.
Oh, because it had like the raised webbing and it kind of looked like sparkly, like silvery.
Like, why does it look silver? Why does the silver look more like? Why is that the prominent color, not the red? Yeah. But then you see it in the movie and it looks amazing.
I think to this day, that's still my favorite Spider-Man costume.
There are things I would change about it, but I think it still looks great.
Yeah, I think it's the best movie Spider-Man costume they've had. Except Black Symbiote one, because that one's freaking badass.
So, Spider-Man that was the first movie, because I remember they were making a big deal. It was all over the news. It was the first movie to hit over $100 million. I think it made, the opening weekend was $114,844,000 at the box office. And then the movie stars, obviously, Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco. Tugboat Maguire. Or Bully Maguire. James Franco.
So good.
Yes, so
Best friends.
Best friends.
Take pictures of your friend?
Yeah. The bug. William Dafoe.
Bug these days. Jesus, you're just welcoming him for his birthday.
And, you know what? What did you guys think about Sam Raimi directing it? Because I think at that time we were kind of rediscovering Sam Raimi, because I remember like the Evil Dead movies were just starting to be sold again. I don't remember if Venture was still around. Venture was like the Target before Target. And I remember you buying me the VHS copies because I told you about them. I'm like, yeah, there's this thing called Evil Dead. Like there's a guy with an axe on the cover and he has like a chainsaw for a hand. And that's when I think we watched those movies and we fell in love with Sam Raimi again. Even though we had seen past movies like Darkman, but I don't think at that time we knew who he was.
Yeah. I think with that knowledge, like of Evil Dead, I think part of me was kind of thinking it was gonna be horror or something. There were gonna be some like mutant stuff in it or something. But I mean, that guy knows how to make a movie. I mean, you know, I think one of the guys, you remember Kevin from The Office?
The character from
No, from our office. Yeah.
The guy that dressed up as Spider-Man?
Yeah. I think he used to say that he didn't like the movies because they were too like corny or something like that. It's like, I don't know, man. These movies, like the movies look like comic books, and I guess maybe that's a turnoff for some people, but some of the angles, the editing, all of that just adds to it. And these new movies, I mean, that's not. None of that really comes across.
I think they play.
Awesome.
Yeah, he is.
I think because of Raimi's, the fact that he would do like really low budget movies in the beginning of his career, he had to be forced to find new ways to shoot things, and like you get the Raimi cam where the camera just follows you everywhere. You know, it's like almost third person view, and yeah, like you're right. When I was surprised they picked him because like you're the Evil Dead guy. Like you made a guy that has to chop up. I can't even talk. Chop up his friends in a cabin and all this gore and stuff. But he also has. You're right. He has like this campiness, this playful side that comes out, and I think that came out a lot in the movie, and I think that kind of changed his career a little bit because by then he wasn't really making big budget movies, and after Spider-Man he did like The Great and Powerful Oz. He's now doing Doctor Strange 2, so like he's both comfortable being in crazy. Like doing low budget and big budget stuff. What about the actors? We had Toby Tugboat Bully Maguire as Peter Parker.
Tugboat.
I'm not calling you Tugboat. You better call me Tugboat. What did you guys think of?
I don't think I knew any of them, except Kirsten
Dunst from like because we had seen her in Jumanji. Yeah. That's probably the biggest thing we had seen her in, and Interview with the Vampire. Oh. She was a little girl in Interview with the Vampire. She was a baby.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting anything from her, really. It's just Mary Jane,
just an auxiliary.
Yeah, I mean,
fall off bridges.
As a kid back then, I don't really care as long as they get Peter Parker right and Spider-Man. Like, I'm down.
Jane!
Yeah, like I think I'm not looking for a big thing from her character. Same thing with Harry.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing was I was disappointed with Green Goblin's look.
His actual like costume, you mean? Or,
the costume,
the Green Power Ranger suit he had.
Yeah, like I like how they make that story that it's a government program and all that stuff. But part of me wishes that he took that stuff and just designed his own costume after that.
Because it's almost, I guess, a crime. William Dafoe is William Dafoe. Yeah, because he's the foe of Spider-Man. Okay. Yeah. Because he has such an expressive face and he's such a good character actor. It's almost like a crime to have him cover up his face with like this kabuki looking mask. He just has like this permanent, like smile, but you want to see his eyes, you want to see the expressions he makes.
Yeah.
I think it would have been fine as long as like at the final battle, he should have like knocked it off for battle damage with the mask, the helmet, and then you just see his crazy face getting like crazier because the thing's taking over.
See, I mean, people I think talk shit about Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I liked how what's his name looked in there.
Don DeHaan?
Yeah, I liked maybe the hair was maybe the hair was a little over the top, but I liked that he was getting diseased, and that's why his face was coming like he looks like a goblin. I did like that, but.
And then we have, are you kind of disappointed they didn't do like those weird cornrows that they have like in the comic books? Like I think weird, orange hair that goes like on both Harry and Norman.
That would have been great.
I think that was the thing that I thought was a little off was James Franco was too cool for Norman or for Harry.
For Harry.
Like he looks like the kind of guy that would bully Peter,
The kind of guy that would like force make out with actresses he's teaching.
But
we won't get into that. Allegedly.
So good.
So good. How's the pie? Again, not a sexual thing. That's what they ask in the movie.
How old is the pie?
Oh my God! All right.
Okay.
All right. So Rosemary Harris plays Aunt May. I think they picked a great.
The best Aunt May.
She every time she comes on the screen, I feel like you kind of want to cry.
Yeah.
Like, cause
you know her.
You know her.
You probably have her in your.
She reminds me of like my Tita Maria, and so like you kind of feel that familial aspect with Rosemary Harris's Aunt May. I think she was perfectly chosen. Another guy who was probably picked as one of the best choices for this character is obviously J.K. Simmons.
Period.
Oh,
Yeah, is J. Jonah Jameson, old Snagglepuss.
Yeah.
He mega crap.
Spider-Man, monster or menace.
Yeah. he's so great. I mean, this guy's so great in the role of J. Jonah that
Your
like
wife
Kevin
lost
Feige's
his
like,
but thanks for the good news.
yeah.
I trust my barber.
They brought him back for the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Because they needed somebody good.
Oh, okay. We'll get into those when we talk about the Tom Holland ones.
Fuck, this movie sucks. What do we do?
But Michael Keaton's a shit. No,
Yeah.
I got it.
Why are the villains good, but
Yeah.
everyone else is
Oh.
bad?
All right. Like I said, we'll talk about the Tom Holland movies when we get to those.
Oh, you mean Nathan Drake?
Oh.
Oh, you
my
mean
God.
who's he playing now? Someone that dancer?
The Chippendales dancer?
No, I don't know. I forgot that dude that singing in the rain. I think.
Oh, he's doing the autobiography.
Yeah.
Of that. But yeah, we'll talk about Tom Holland and that when we get to his movies. But
We'll get there.
hopefully.
Yeah.
No, we have
Yeah,
to.
J. Jonah Jameson.
And it can't be just you be like, fuck this guy, fuck you, god damn it, why are you alive? No, none of that. We can't do that. Some of this, okay, what are some of the things from Spider-Man 1? What are like the scenes that probably stick with you the most?
Oh, the whole movie.
The whole movie.
Oh, the scene. I don't know. I mean, the whole movie has become kind
Those
of.
horrible yellow
Yeah.
eyes.
Oh yeah, when he
Finish it!
when Green Goblin breaks into the Parker home and
He
like
was listening in on Aunt
On
May.
Aunt May.
There's no way he came in on time and knew what she was saying.
no, he was
He was
listening
like,
to her.
I gotta
screen
fucking
frame.
plan this.
She's
Like,
getting to the good part of the prayer right here.
Oh, this is the part where I snipe in. Yeah, finish it.
the whole movie.
Deliver us from evil.
The whole movie is like a meme at this point, but I think that's why it's so
quotable.
good.
It's
yeah.
like you got Joe Manganiello as Flash Thompson, who's only in the movie for like 5 minutes, and before he became famous for like True Blood, and he's just like the bully, and you remember him because he's like, I don't want to fight me neither, and like, and it's just, but yeah, it's so. Some of the scenes I think that stick with me obviously is
Good reflexes.
is where he catches all the lunch on his table tray when he catches Mary Jane. When Uncle Ben dies. No, when you know what? Even before that, when Uncle Ben is talking to him and is giving him the power in speech thing, and like Peter totally like he's just trying to connect with Peter, trying to make him feel good, like say, hey, I'm here for you, and Peter's just like, you're not my father, and it's just like, oh fuck, and then like 10 minutes later, he dies, and it's like, dude, that's on you.
Yeah, I gotta skip that scene. I always skip it now because it really does hurt.
Doesn't he not even get to finish his sentence?
No, he tells him about greater power.
Peter.
No, when he's dying.
Oh, when he's dying, yeah. No, when he's dying, he's like, Uncle Ben, and he's like...
I think you see the fear. He didn't want to die.
Yeah, he has like this fear in his eyes where like he knows that he's going to die, but he kind of looks off screen, I think. And to me, I'm like, he's thinking about Aunt May. He's thinking about like probably he saw her last.
Okay, let's stop talking about it.
I'm already like getting verklempt, and then you got like some of the other scenes.
Don't start without me.
See, don't start up with me. Yeah. See, it's just like that. That is a family unit, Like how many scenes do you see them together? But you believe it almost.
They're only like in
immediately,
like 2 or 3 scenes together before he dies, and but you get the fact that he doesn't see them as his aunt and his uncle. He might call them that, but like that's his mom and dad. They raised them, and I think they all do a great job. I mean, Tobey Maguire does, I think, a great job being as like this goofy, nerdy Peter Parker. I think he gets that down pretty.
Oh, it's
Why is
all
it
about
good?
the acoustics. It's
Yeah,
the sound waves.
he's such a nerd when it comes to everything, and then you see how much he loves just learning about things, even though he looks like a 35-year-old, but because he probably was.
It's impossible.
But I think he plays that character, that part of Peter Parker. I think out of the three, and we'll get to the other two, but I think his Peter Parker is probably my favorite. And he sometimes is funny. He doesn't really get the quippiness of Spider-Man. A little bit when he's fighting Bonesaw McGraw.
Did your husband make that?
Yeah, that's a cute outfit. Did your husband make that for you? I got you for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Bonesaw.
Yeah, just
Bonesaw is ready.
That guy is awesome.
Yeah. Other scenes.
It's playtime.
Yeah. Some of the other stuff that I love is just Norman's overacting, or William Dafoe's overacting as Norman Osborn. He plays the.
Yeah.
He sometimes he
That's
looks so
the formula.
scared,
I'm
and then
something about Dafoe myself.
See, I love that part too. I always thought, like, even him, you get a sense of like he
He's
really
friendly.
likes
He's
Peter.
friendly,
Yeah.
which I never got that from like the cartoons or the comics. He always was like just straight up bad guy,
Yeah.
like evil Lex Luthor business type. But in here, they're like he kind of wishes Peter was his son, because Harry's like an idiot, and
And
I was
allegedly
like a father to you,
Yeah.
Peter. Be a son to me.
yeah,
now.
yeah. When he pleads with him, and then Peter's just at the ending of the fight, he's like, I already had a father. His name was Ben Parker. You know, I think again, and with those, like you were saying,
Oh.
You got speed, Spider-Man.
the fight scenes in there are great, because a lot of it was like practical.
Yeah.
Battle
Yep.
damage Spider-Man mask, always great to see. That last fight where they're going at it in that, I don't know where they're under like maybe the bridge or
Yeah, some abandoned like
abandoned
little.
weird
brick walls
courtyard where they're
in
just
the middle
fucking
of anywhere.
Yeah.
But it looks
like-
cool.
It
Oh,
looks
yeah.
no,
Who
it's
cares?
great.
Who cares where
But
it
that's-
is? It's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
such
yeah.
a vicious fight between them. They're just knocked down, like, you know, Peter Parker's fighting for survival at this point, and that's something I don't think I've seen in the other movies.
Oh
like
no, don't worry. Tom Holland was fighting
Oh.
a rock.
Rock.
And the Vulture one.
Oh,
Instead of fighting the Vulture, he fights
there
a
you
rock.
go. He has to pick up the rock.
I don't know.
But-
Oh, I know. I hardly remember myself.
Well, do you want to keep talking about Spider-Man 1? We're at 22.
So basically, what did you think? Well, yeah, we'll start moving on to the second one. Just
Well, Spider-Man 1, good. It's a really good
Beautiful.
movie. You know,
I think it still holds up. I saw
Yeah.
it a couple of, what was it, last month? Because I saw it with Mom, and she got all emotional watching it.
Yeah.
And Uncle Ben's death, beautifully sad. The fight scene's great. Bruce Campbell comes out.
Yeah.
You
That's
love
the
Bruce
best you got,
Campbell.
kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when he's the one that gets the name
It's not
Spider-Man.
my name. He got
My name is the
wrong.
Human Spider.
Yeah.
That's the best you got. That sucks. It's the
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man. But yeah, no, that movie was great, and I think it led a lot to where we are now with comic book movies.
Especially for something of that magnitude, you know, to be that good right away.
Yeah.
It didn't take 2 or 3 movies to get there. It was his
I
first.
didn't need to set up anything. It was
Yeah.
already great.
They set the bar in the
Yeah.
first one. I don't know if you guys want to talk about the video game real quick. If you guys want to talk about it a little bit, the first video, Spider-Man the movie.
Nah, let's
video
just keep it on
yeah.
the movies.
All right. Well, then, following that, we had Spider-Man 2 that came out 2 years later, June 30th, 2004.
2
Damn,
years.
that's fast.
Yeah,
Make a
so
perfect movie.
and basically, yeah, right. So Spider-Man 2 takes place 2 years later. Peter's still in college, even though he's 45 and has kids.
Yeah.
You could be a
That's
45-year-old
yeah.
and have kids.
Well, you can. You can. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just saying that, you know, he looked a little old to be playing he's a what, 17, 18 maybe in the first one, so he's supposed to be like maybe early 20s.
Well, it's because he's brilliant but lazy,
Yeah,
right?
he's brilliant but lazy.
That's why he never.
So,
graduated.
this movie is I think probably the best of the Spider-Man movies, but this one is basically Peter's trying to balance his life as a superhero with his personal life, and this is the one where Doc Ock comes out, Dr. Octopus.
apparently it's a funny name.
And we will get to the Tom Holland movies, Alex. And
Maybe
but
not.
Maybe not if Alex has his
You
way.
guys can go ahead.
Yeah.
So, what about this? Do you remember the first?
See, that I remember coming out on Entertainment Tonight or whatever.
Like
with,
Access
like
Hollywood?
exclusive footage of the
Yeah.
new one and him sliding on part of the, what was it, a car door on the street, and he's attached to the train.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's surfing.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is it. This is, movies will never be able to top this.
I think this is when the internet started kicking it into high gear. Because I remember spending like hours on like the websites, and they're like, "Oh, they're filming in Chicago," and that's when they filmed the train sequence.
Yeah.
Where he's fighting Doc Ock. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of it.
Which is-
looking
yeah.
at it, it's
Which I totally forgot about it when I'm like, "Hey, how come those buildings look so familiar?"
yeah.
But I remember watching the trailer, and that thing just looked like they turned it up to 11 when I saw Doc Ock.
On 11.
Yeah. And you just see Doc Ock. I think he's on the clock tower, and he's just waiting for Spider-Man to like come after him. And I think that was one of the. I don't even remember seeing it in theaters, but I just remember that trailer the first time I saw it, and how I was just like I was ready for more Spider-Man. Alfred Molina plays Dr. Octopus.
Doctor Strange.
And
but it's taken already.
Yeah. So what did you think
That
about?
sucks.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Yeah.
Dr. Octopus.
Science
Stallone.
Squid.
Doc Ock.
Yes.
Science Squid.
Oh. What said the science kid?
Well, what
Yeah.
did he say? Some food's been poisoned. I'm a little seasick. Yeah.
Yeah. Feeling under the weather. Yeah. So what did you think about Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus?
I had never seen Doc Ock like that. I mean, I'd seen the cartoon, but this was, again, another believable take on the character, fitting into the universe. He's not just like, hey, I want to get rich and cause havoc. No, those, I don't know. It's still a little weird, like, that he built, like, these mechanical arms and that isn't
His breakthrough.
Yeah, that isn't his breakthrough.
Invention.
Well, it was
But-
like, I'm sure someone thought the forklift was like the greatest invention, and they're like, nah, like it's just the pickup boxes.
But like,
Yeah,
even
but, like-
really thinking about it, like, they have their own AI
yeah,
or some
I wish
shit.
that was kind of weird, and I didn't think I would like that. But I think they played it pretty well. The fact that the tentacles themselves had some a mind out of their own.
I think, but things like that alone could have gotten him a Pulitzer or whatever.
Yeah.
he
Well, I
wants.
mean, it
Like,
might have. We
for
don't
people who
get
didn't have
into it.
hands or disabled.
Yeah.
Man, I got tentacles.
Yeah.
I got these things that can pick up anything.
Well, obviously that stuff was to pick up hazardous material, which he was trying to create like a clean fusion.
It's just tritium.
I mean,
Tritium.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I ignore that because I'm kind of like, well, whatever. But I'm trying to say that he's not just a typical villain. It's those things are making him want to complete his task because he's so obsessed now.
Yeah.
And he's only taking money because he's trying to rebuild
He's just
the
trying
thing.
to rebuild the stuff. He doesn't really seem to care about after his wife dies in there tragically
Yeah.
by his own invention. He's
I
just
love
trying to
this
build
boy.
this.
Yeah. Rose.
Yeah, another. I think that movie is also very quotable. But this one is like rewatching it again because I saw all three of them last month. Like, Tobey Maguire gets his ass kicked in this
No,
movie.
yeah, he gets
like
treated every 3
emotionally.
seconds.
He gets like
That's
his
what it is.
his
Rent?
his best friend doesn't want to like talk to him. He's like bitch slaps him like at that party for
Oh,
Mary Jane.
damn,
Couple
that
of
one
times.
sucks.
Yeah, not only once, and then he takes it like he takes
He
it
gets 2 slaps, and then his girl, the person he loves, is getting married to someone
to
right in
almost
The
front of him.
like
Vampire
to spite
Diaries.
him.
And then he needs to take a picture of
Yeah.
That's a memorial.
Parker,
You're like,
Parker,
What
what am I paying you for?
Yeah.
No, he gets treated every
He
3
gets
seconds.
but I think that's what adds to that movie is like
That his life sucks.
his life
sometimes.
sucks.
That's-
Like because this is the superhero every kid wants to be, and it just shows you how hard it is for him just trying to be like because he's super smart, but he can't even get to class on time because he's
Yeah.
too busy
Where are you
living
going,
up to
Parker?
responsibility.
To your
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
Mike, don't
Mike.
you see me here right
Yeah.
now? My
Class is over. They introduced Dylan Baker as Dr.
One
Kirk
of the
Connors, one of
best.
the biggest, I think, cock teases
Yeah.
in movies. He would have, if you know the books or and the lore, Dr. Kirk Connors becomes the Lizard, and if you've seen the Amazing Spider-Man, which is the reboot of this series, he becomes it there, but we get introduced to him as his teacher and like a mentor, and same thing. And then I think this movie continues the like what the first one did in Norman is like he kind of has to fight his father figures. Like there's always like like they try to replace Uncle Ben with Norman. Norman has like this duality issue, and he's a bad guy. He's a Green Goblin, and then
formula.
Yeah.
So cold.
Yeah. And Dr. Octopus is another guy that, you know, he sees the potential in Peter, and they hit it off, and, you know, they're like find kindred spirits in one another, but obviously something wacky happens and he becomes Dr. Octopus and they have to fight. And yeah, I think this one continues just that tradition of like, you know, of him having to fight like father figures. And I think Spider-Man 2 is known to be like one of the best comic book movies. I think it still holds up.
It's one of the best movies, period.
I think it is.
The fight scenes, I mean, it's fucking great. That train sequence is. Yeah. I rewatch that like, you know, whenever I have spare time, I just put it on.
Which I would ask you because I mostly have seen the regular part 2, but there's a 2.0 which is with added or additional film scenes. Which one do you think, if someone were to watch it, which one would you say people should watch? The theatrical one or the 2.0 one?
I think it's 2.1.
Or 2.1.
Yeah.
I think there's even more to it. I think there's an even more extended.
Oh, 2.2.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You know, I don't know. Oh, I think there is, only because I think in 2.1, you know, it has extended scenes. But then there's another version with J. Jonah Jameson when he puts the Spider-Man costume
that happens in the.
I don't know.
I have that one.
You see, but when it comes to digital, it's something else entirely.
Well, I think some of the good things of 2.0 is I guess they have a longer extended train sequence, which is what happened?
0.1.
Oh, 2.1. I'm sorry, Jesus.
Freaking
Spider-Man Nazis.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the best, if not the best scene in that movie, where Spider-Man tries to stop the train, and after he fights Dr. Octopus.
The whole movie is the best scene.
Well, the whole movie. That's still my favorite Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man 2 is my favorite Spider-Man movie. But
it's the best Spider-Man movie.
I mean,
since seeing the 2.0, they did add scenes where that dude from Vampire Diaries.
2.0.
Yeah.
So I think
Elijah.
Whatever. Yeah, I think they added because he's in the movie for like 2 seconds.
Jupiter?
Oh, because he plays J. Jonah Jameson's son.
Oh, yeah.
In the comics, he either becomes a werewolf or some big dude named, what was it?
Mr. Jupiter.
Captain Jupiter. Captain Jupiter.
He's badass.
But like you just see him as like an arm piece to Mary Jane. You don't know anything about him. It's like, how did this guy get, you know?
Can you kiss me like this? I'm back on.
Yeah, they have that weird scene, which is funny in retrospect when we get into Spider-Man 3, when Spider-Man kisses Gwen Stacy. But yeah, I think it adds a little more context to their relationship, because she totally like ditches him at the altar to be with Peter.
Margaret. Did we cancel the what?
Cancel the caviar.
But I think,
call the caterer.
Yeah, call the caterer.
Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson. He's standing there with his wife, seeing that his son got stood up at the altar, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, the food is like, make sure they don't open.
Just watch the extended.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't see.
It doesn't take away from anything.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, I think, digs deeper with the characters, with all of them. They deal with like the fallout from the first one with Harry being obsessed with trying to kill Spider-Man.
Take pictures of him.
Yeah, with his friend Spider-Man.
And
that was the bug these days.
And
God damn it, Harry! It's my birthday.
And then they make you care for Dr. Octopus because he lost his wife, and you know where Peter talks to him at the ending. Oh, they have that heartbreaking scene.
They have like 7.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm trying to tell you about the one where Peter tells Aunt May that it's his fault.
Oh man,
that Uncle Ben died, and like he has his hand on hers, and she moves it away, and she just like doesn't say anything to him. Like that is
Even
fucking-
before then, when she's like,
She's just
here's
staring
some
at-
money for you.
Yeah, that's
and
the
like
worst.
I admit, no, take it.
Yeah,
I know it's not much.
Yeah,
Jeez.
God,
Yeah,
man.
fucking Rosemary Harris.
Why is it gotta
MVP.
hit so hard?
But yeah, when that is just heart wrenching. And then they have that follow up scene where they make up, and she tells him how sometimes you can't have everything that you want, but you have like a responsibility. And
Don't strain yourself moving that couch.
and then he uses it on Dr. Octopus, telling him that sometimes we have to give up the thing we love the most in order to do the right thing. And they redeem Dr.
Listen to
Octopus.
me now.
Yeah.
When he's talking to the tentacles.
Like, damn it.
So did
we almost had him?
yeah, turn evil. Did you know that? Do you know that they had names? That Alfred Molina gave his tentacles names.
No.
They were because unlike nowadays where everything's all CGI, the tentacles themselves were mostly practical. They were called Larry, Harry, Mo, and Flo.
Yeah.
So
That's another great sequence when he's like, anyone here take shop class? And
Yeah.
they're gonna remove. The
Oh,
stuff
when they
from-
basically remake like the Evil Dead
Yeah.
scene, like the most expensive version of it in the hospital.
Man.
It's like a legit terrifying scene.
Yeah.
Where
that's
everybody's being like straight up murdered by these tentacles.
There's no music, and it's
Yeah.
just the sound effects of everything.
Man, those
Yeah.
things just hanging is a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that again, Bill Pope, I think, was the director of photography, and just another Sam Raimi just knows how to shoot a scene. But yeah, they redeemed Doc Ock, so. Which again, I always hated Dr. Octopus in the comics. He was always like this big, like he was just this fat dude with a funny haircut, with
In a
tentacles
suit.
in a white suit,
Yeah.
and
See, I always just pictured him as the 90s one with the green and
cartoon?
orange with the crazy
Oh.
sunglasses.
with the
Yeah, I
sunglasses,
didn't
like
like that
Peter
one.
No, I
Parker.
didn't like him at all. He was just like
He was
cool.
Yeah,
like,
He was
Peter
visually
Pecker.
he was cool, but yeah, Peter Pecker.
Mm.
That's what I said.
Yeah. So, and I think we talked about it pretty much all. Oh, how about the ending? Because that ending is like not a. It's kind of happy in the sense that Peter and Mary Jane get together because he kind of rebuffs her at the end of the first
it's
one.
the best because the Punisher's in it.
Oh, we got Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Jane makes a cameo appearance, maybe as the Punisher. We're not 100%, but
Punisher.
but what I think it's okay to say he was. But there's that scene where in the first Spider-Man movie we see him like on the American flag, and he just swings off to save the day. And in this
Swings
one,
on a bird or something.
yeah.
What's
What is he swinging? What is he sticking on? What is the web hanging onto? And then this one, you kind of see it from.
Pigeon's like,
Yeah. Fly, bird,
Spider-Man.
fly. Yeah. You make that bird this bitch. Yeah.
All the pigeons in the garden. Yo,
Yeah.
watch out.
Yeah.
Yo, watch
I'm the sheriff around these parts. You must not heard.
I'm Bully Maguire.
But yeah. Dun, 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 but
Pizza time.
you get you get meme from Pizza Time.
Oh yeah,
But
that's part.
it has
always late.
yeah.
I like you're a good guy.
You're a
Yeah.
good guy.
I
Yeah.
can't trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mr.
power and
Aziz.
responsibility.
Bones.
But it has that ending where Mary Jane, you see it from her perspective, and like you see him swinging off into the sunset. But then they just linger on her face, and it's
Yeah.
like a smile, and then it's like almost like holy shit, what the fuck did I get myself into? Face, like
yeah.
like she
it's-
now realizes that she's gonna be with who she wants to be, but she has to share him with the world, and maybe she's not ready for that. So it's almost kind of like a sad downer ending, but at the same time, like the whole movie was just like Passion of the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I would say, all right, out of probably my favorite one out of the three. Anything else about Spider-Man 2?
I think we're good. Great movie. I mean, yeah, it's better than part one. I think.
I think it's the best Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Then let's see. Then let's move on to Spider-Man 3, the black sheep of the family. That one came out in May 4th, 2007. So a couple
Not
of
a bad
years.
movie.
Yeah. Just bad mistakes.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
a bad
bad
executive
decision.
producer.
You know that.
Ava Aaron.
Yeah. I mean that. For a long time I blamed them for interfering, but at the same time it was written by Sam Raimi. No. So why couldn't?
So this one is written by Sam and his brother Ivan, who's helped him out a lot in a lot of his past movies, including the Evil Dead movies.
So that's what I'm saying is like, look, if so and so producer was like, you need to put this in the movie, then you know what? I'm gonna make damn sure I fucking work it in, but make it good. You know what I mean? Like,
I think the thing is, Sam Raimi grew up on like the '60s Spider-Man, so like the original Steve Ditko, Stan Lee Spider-Man. So his characters are like the original Sinister Six. But Ava Arad, because he is cool, he knows what the kids like. Wanted to put in Venom. He always wanted to put in Venom because for some reason, I guess the '90s, late '80s, early '90s, Venom was like the cool looking character. I never thought of him as much as anything but like the bad Spider-Man. Cool. Like he looks cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've never I never thought of him. I guess in the comics he's now like he's more anti-hero, leaning towards more hero, especially now with the Tom Hardy, Alex's favorite actor, playing Venom. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just because it's like the '90s, and that's like, you know, what else was cool? Eat My Shorts, like being that kind of like
that rebellious.
Yeah,
like I could imagine
that's so rad, dude. Like, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine Ava Arad just be like, "What, the Sandman? Like, so he just makes." Like, he throws sand in your face? Like, but the Venom, he has, like, the tongue, and he's like...
Whoa,
and he has black costume, you know? A white spider.
White spider.
I mean, that one I remember watching the trailer. I think that was... When did you say it came out?
2007.
So that I was in college, I think.
I think, we're both in college. I think I was in my final year of college.
Yeah. I remember seeing the trailer. Everyone at school was like, "Oh shit!" And I was excited. I was like, damn!" And
I think out of the three, that was probably the best trailer, maybe because it starts off with him on the cathedral, like it's raining.
Yeah,
he's in the black Spider-Man suit, which I think is a beautiful suit.
Oh, that suit is the best.
And like you just see him, you're like,
good.
What the hell? Like, yeah, that's the song that. Yeah. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, you know what? I think I'm excited for this. But I just, when they said there was going to be like Goblin Jr. and
Gabby Jr.
Gonna cry?
Yeah.
There's Sandman, who I thought Thomas Hayden Church plays Sandman. Looks like he was ripped out of the pages.
Yeah.
And the thing about Sandman I was looking forward to is that he's another character who like straddles the line between like hero and villain. So I'm like, oh, like I can see him like kind of redeeming him. Like he redeemed Doc Ock in the second one, but he died anyway. So I could see like maybe this is the first time we're gonna see a villain like survive, and maybe he turns him into the good side.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited too. Again, like he's not gonna be your typical, I just want money again. Yeah. You know, there's something else to him. You know.
He also just, I think, looked awesome, like, for those trailers. When you saw him just turn huge.
Those were the best parts.
Yeah. So what were your hopes, I guess, when you knew, I guess, we were going to get a movie with Sandman and Venom and, like, Goblin Jr.? What did you think was going to happen? Did you have any, like, idea how you thought it was going to play out in your head? No? Yes? Any of you guys?
Well, I mean, look, I completely had faith in him, and I was just, I guess I didn't think what was going to happen, but I was just like, I'm excited to see it. It's going to be great. He can do no wrong. But, then after seeing the movie, I remember one of the friends I was talking to at the time, she had texted me and was like, what happened with that movie? It was such a mess. And like, looking back now, I've come around a little bit. Like, it is a good movie. I like it. I do like it. I enjoy it. It's good entertainment. It's not as strong as Part 2, but it's still a solid movie.
I think it has, like, there's parts in it that I think are really well done. I think after Part 2, where you, like Alex said, Peter and Spider-Man get treated, like, throughout the whole movie, and he finally gets the girl at the ending, he starts off this movie, like, in a good place.
Yeah, top of the world. And, like, he's happy, and you kind of feel like, oh, great, people, because there was, like, Spider-Man Menace, and here people love him. But then you kind of get the idea, like, it goes to his head, because he's never felt that before. So I get the pride,
and I think the movie itself is a movie about like pride and forgiveness. And maybe a lot of the parts don't work, but there's some parts there that still work, I think. I saw the producer's cut version, editor's cut, and so that one was
that one's better, I think.
Yeah.
that one is better. It there's less of the goofy scenes. I mean, he still dances. There's that so weird scene, but I think it flows a little bit better. There's this beautiful scene.
Sandman.
Where Sandman, like, so Sandman in this movie, he escapes jail. He just wants to make sure his daughter's okay, who has a disease that we don't know. You know,
She has the Nora Freeze.
she has the Nora Freeze disease from Batman and Robin, McGregor syndrome. It crossed universes.
Yeah.
And take
They
two of
talk to
these
Conor McGregor.
and call
Come here,
call
bro.
me in the morning. And
He's deaf.
Yeah.
but they don't really play that aspect because they have so many villains in there. But there's this one scene where after he gets his powers, Thomas Hayden Church Sandman, he makes like this beautiful sandcastle for his daughter, and like she presses her hands against it.
She's like at a park with her mom.
Yeah, she's at a park with the mom, and then she like presses her hands against the sand, and like you see the Sandman's handprints going up against hers, so it's like he can't be with his daughter, but he made that's a beautiful scene.
Yep.
But they cut it out, and I was like, and it was just one of those things like, oh, like this added a little bit more flavor to it. This made it,
It gives more emotion and depth to that character. That I wanted to see more of him because you hardly see him. Like, you see him with his family once in the theatrical cut, then he gets destroyed by Spider-Man or whatever, and then he doesn't come out until like the end.
Yeah, they have a couple of fight scenes with Sandman. The Sandman birth sequence,
Yep.
when he turns into Sandman, is another hauntingly. The music in there is beautiful. The scene itself, he falls.
Just trying to pick up.
Yeah.
He's just trying
when
to
he
pick
makes
up a
that
locket.
huge sigh.
Yeah, it's just
just pieces come off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so again, beautiful moments in a movie that is littered with like weird, goofy decisions. Topher Grace plays everybody's favorite villain, Eddie Brock. aka
Edward Brock
Venom.
Jr.
Edward Brock Jr. I'm dating your daughter, sir.
Yeah.
It's like, we just had one date, fucking stalker.
Oh, that's one Stacy
But
over
look,
there.
yeah, I'll say this: like, I think he works for that universe. He
Yeah.
is the anti-Peter Parker.
Yeah, he's Peter if he didn't get that lesson in.
Yes. Yeah. So
he's-
that's
he's
why I
Peter
think
Parker
it works.
taking all the shortcuts.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it works. I don't need Eddie to be
big, bulky
I
dude?
hate that one. It makes no sense.
You don't like
He's
the
a
mullet?
photographer. Why is he bench pressing 250 pounds?
This
And
is the
he's-
comic book version that you're talking about.
camera
Yeah.
equipment's
Yeah.
heavy.
It makes no sense, and he's a bad photographer.
Yeah.
Like, how are you?
Some of it
Because his
looks
arms are
familiar.
so fucking big. They're tree trunks.
Then
They
go
can't.
be like a personal trainer. Like, you, what are you doing trying to be a photographer?
He wants
I
to
hate
work
Peter
with the
Parker.
greatest public editor of our time. That's why.
And then he could be like a sports writer or something, but no, this is what he's gonna do. Like that, yeah. Eddie Brock from like the comics and cartoon, I think, suck. That Topher Grace is a better introduction
Representation.
to of what an Eddie Brock could be. The Venom sucks.
He's very ultimate version Eddie Brock, because in that one he's not like the bodybuilder, photographer rival. He's like this nerdy, like full of himself, like college student that Peter. I guess their parents used to know each other, used to work together, and that's how he meets him. But Topher Grace. I think you're right. I think both of you are right. I think he works better in this movie. Like, I can't see a Tom Hardy working in this version of that version of Venom. This guy is basically supposed to be the dark image of Peter. Like you said, he takes all the shortcuts. He photoshops pictures to get ahead in his career. Doesn't care who he hurts.
You do this and you'll destroy me, Peter.
Whereas Peter might hurt people because he's a little oblivious. But that scene where he kisses. So Gwen Stacy is introduced here, his first love interest from the comics, which I thought was weird by the third movie, because I am like, whoa, why are you introducing her? Are you gonna kill her off? Because basically, Gwen Stacy's famous for being, killed by the Green Goblin, and
Spoiler.
the spoilers for a book that came out like 50 years ago. So it's like kind of weird. I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard looks like her, pretty. She's beautiful. But it's just they I guess they made her like the Mary Jane because she's like a model.
Yeah.
And whereas Kirsten Dunst isn't like the model, she's like the actress, which is also part of her character.
That decision is a bad decision.
I think I can tell you this. Like I said, maybe at first I didn't like the movie, and then I've come around on it. I still don't like her character. I don't like what they did with her at all.
She becomes very
that's
nagging wife.
Yeah.
But there's
she's a bad actress in this one for some reason.
Well, it's because I think they didn't have anything for her to do originally.
Yeah.
I think at the ending, instead of her getting kidnapped,
No, I'm not saying she's bad at acting. I'm saying in the
Oh,
movie,
she's a bad
she
actress.
gets fired.
Yeah.
Within the
because
the storyline.
Yeah,
where
like
she's in the
they
play.
cancel her from Broadway. No one watches her show, and it's like, what? Where did this come from? Like that was so dumb.
I think they was trying to push the fact that, like in the second one, she is like coming ahead in life, and Peter is not. And in this one, it's reversed. Everybody loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Peter's getting good job, and she's kind of getting the short end of the stick. And then, like he kisses Gwen Stacy at like the Spider-Man parade. Which I think, and then Mary Jane's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you kiss her? Which is funny now looking at the extended version of part 2, because she's like, why would you kiss her the way you kissed me when you were Spider-Man? But she does that with her fiance in the second one.
I didn't even think of that, but that makes sense.
So,
that's some bullshit.
So so if you watch those two versions, like, hypocritical much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just she's kind of naggy in this one. And then Peter's he gets full of himself. He gets, oblivious. And then he starts... The symbiote is introduced, like, in such a way that's, like, I guess you can call it lazy writing?
Yeah.
Or just to move the story forward. It just falls from the sky. It's like they were in a pitch meeting just, like, throwing cheese puffs around. And they're like, they look at the cheese puff, and it's like, it falls on the floor. And it's like, what if the symbiote just falls from the sky? Brilliant.
Yeah, that's another thing I still don't like upon rewatching it. It's just so quick. Like, hey, by the way, here's a symbiote.
Like it's random. It lands of all the places. It lands right next to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And but it's also kind of weird because I think because the movie takes so many avenues to get to certain places. Like, I think an hour passes by before the symbiote even gets on him. So within the stories. Within the story, It's like a whole week goes by, and the symbiote is like finally decides to get on Peter.
This movie could have definitely been split into two.
I think that's an idea that happened because when I had worked name drop at Ghost House for Sam Raimi's company, one of the people there had told me, like, how would you have ended? I'm like, I would have taken Venom out. Like, I would have ended it with Venom, the birth of Venom.
Yeah.
Like, do like a mid-credit scene before mid-credit scene became all the rage. And it's like, I think that was something they had discussed, but Ava was like, nobody wants to see Sand Guy. And it's like, I make Toy Biz toys. And that's and so then they're like, no, the kids want to see Venom, we have to put him in this movie. And yeah, like Raimi was just not a fan. He didn't connect with that character, and I think he tried, but I don't think he succeeded, because I guess in his head, like, so the symbiote takes over Peter and makes him a dick. It makes him dance like an asshole.
Now dig on this.
Yeah, dig on this. And he tries to upstage Mary Jane at the place that she works at as a lounge singer by taking Little Miss hot blonde over there to make her jealous, and and the symbiote is basically meant to, like, what's the word, amplify like the negative feelings you're having. So Peter, being a nerd, would probably think dancing is cool, like, I saw kids dancing in high school, so that's why he thinks jazz is like,
see,
rebellish.
that I'm kind of 50-50. Like, I think it's funny, but at the same time, I do kind of wish they just turned him into an asshole for the...
Well, he
for that
kind of
scene.
backhands Mary Jane pretty bad.
Yeah, but I'm
remember...
saying, like, how how he starts thinking he's all cool and messes
Yeah.
up his hair. I wish that almost happened naturally.
Yeah.
Like he just stopped taking showers, maybe let his little scruff grow.
Yeah.
Like,
Give me my milk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's eating
Yeah,
cookies.
that's true.
That's him rebelling, eating cookies and drinking milk. Not even like chocolate milk. Come on. But I remember watching it in the theaters and then watching it here with Mom, where he backhands Mary Jane, not knowing that it's her. So
Yeah.
it's like he thinks it's just another guard or whatever trying to get him out of the club. But everybody was like, there's like
Yeah.
this audible gasp, and it's almost like, oof, yeah, that's kind of rough. I don't know
Yeah,
how
the-
you get back to having us on your side. But I think this one is probably one of the most beautifully shot movies. I think this one, compared to like the Venom movie, has a better Venom origin in the sense where visually it's louder, it speaks better volume. Where he's in the church and he's, Eddie is down
yeah.
on his luck and he
Yeah.
hates Peter and he hates Spider-Man. He blames both of them for his bad luck, and he's like, I just want you to kill Peter Parker or Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And like Peter's up there and he's trying to rip off the
That
costume.
looks awesome.
Even
Man.
and yeah, like that looks. It's like he's tearing it off his body, like this, trying to tear off this cancer out of himself.
Well,
And
we have 5 minutes.
We have 5
left.
minutes before.
Unless
the
you
thing
want to
gets
keep
off.
going and I can edit it together, but
But I don't know. Then basically at the ending, he has a team up with Green Goblin Jr., which I thought was great.
Mentioned Goblin.
We haven't even mentioned
Yeah.
him.
Man, those fights were awesome. I hate those things.
hate those things.
James, yeah,
I knew this was coming, Pete.
yeah. There's this
Yeah,
great
let's
fight
go.
scene in the beginning where
And then kills him.
Yeah, there's so
They
much
have a
more
lot of-
advanced
They're-
CGI in that scene.
the CGI
And
in
part
this
one,
and
like-
this one, I think still holds up today and still looks better than like the new Tom Holland ones. 'Cause for some reason they look fuzzy to me, but this one I think they're beautifully shot. When it's like Peter Parker crawling on stuff, I don't think the CGI works.
Yeah, no.
But-
When they show the face, it's
Yeah, when Spider-Man
It still
saving
looks
Gwen
awesome,
Stacy
though.
from the
I
crane
love
in the
that.
building, beautiful, beautifully staged, beautifully shot.
yeah.
I like the ending where Spider-Man and Green Goblin like team up because they're best friends and kind of brings everything full circle. This does like, yeah, because he Green Goblin died in the first one. Harry dies in this one, saving Peter. So he dies the same way his dad died, except that his dad died trying to kill Peter, whereas Harry died saving his best friend, his brother, basically. And I think that's a beautifully shot scene. Natalie was here, my daughter, and she was crying
Mm-hmm.
because she's like, I don't want him to die. They're best friends, and I'm like, I'm sorry that, like, but it's because he loved him and he didn't want him to get hurt. And what would you? So
Yeah.
And this one ends like the first one. It ends at a funeral scene, and then it ends with Peter seeing Mary Jane and like that little whisper of a reconciliation.
Yeah.
And not knowing that this would be the last movie, what did you think? Like, no, I guess knowing now that it was the last one, are you okay with the way it ended? Would you have liked to have seen another one? Because Raimi wanted to make another one with Vulture, John Malkovich as Vulture, Anne Hathaway as Black Cat, Bruce Campbell as like a loser Mysterio for like a montage sequence.
Looking at it, you know what? Now, especially with so many movies being huge franchises, like, you know what? I'm glad it ended. Maybe it didn't end on a high note, but I'm glad it ended. I'd love to see another thing now, maybe. It doesn't have to be a full-length movie or something, but if it was just a short of just seeing what he's currently up to, I'd love that,
Old Man Parker?
Yeah, something like that. Even if he came out in Spider-Verse and was like, hey, kid, like, something, I don't know, some sort of acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that it was the last one, it's not my favorite. But in the grand scheme of the Spider-Man movies, I would still probably pick it as like the fourth, at least in probably my top 5. I would have liked to seen another one because I know Raimi really wanted to do one and kind of make up for it, he said. So, I mean, I'm hoping he comes out maybe in No Way Home because of the rumors. But yeah, I mean, this is my Spider-Man. This is my favorite Spider-Man. Alex?
I don't know if I got time.
No. Well, we can add. We can
Here,
just add it on.
I'll just stop.
I wanna repeat.
Okay, you
Oh,
can
no,
go
no.
ahead.
Yeah, I think it was. Looking back on it as the last one, I don't think it's the best. It's still, I think, the fourth best Spider-Man movie ever made. But yeah, I think I want, like, I know Sam Raimi wanted to make the Vulture one, so I wanted him to make that. What I wanted was a Dylan Baker Spider-Man movie. I want my Lizard Dylan Baker versus Tobey Maguire. So I would, if they made two more, that would have been awesome. But yeah, 3 is still a good movie, but compared to 2, it's not. It's not.
It's kind of a letdown after the highs that part 2 gave us.
Yeah, so if the next one was like just as good as part 2 was coming from part 1, if part 4 was that like another part 2, that would have been
Was
great.
the Mulligan?
So yeah, I wanted at least 2 more. I think that would have had everybody that we would have won. I mean, I don't know what other villains. I don't care for Craven too much. I don't know. I can't really think of a lot of other villains that I would have wanted.
Yeah.
The Jackal.
Bring in the clones.
Yeah. Send in the clones.
And his weird rapey sense for Gwen Stacy.
That whole book series is fucking terrible. I can tell you, I bought all the Epic Clone Saga.
Oh
The
my
complete.
God.
It is
I gotta read those.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I think when it ended, in my head I thought they would make 3 more, and in my head I was like, yeah, like, well, they introduced Gwen Stacy, so like like him and Mary Jane shouldn't get back together. Gwen should be like the new love interest, and kind of do that, and kind of end it by like the 4th or 5th movie, she would die. I mean, not that I would want her to die, but that's kind of what happens in the books. And then like Mary Jane is kind of there to pick him up, not like as a rebound, but like just to be like, I would have liked to see Mary Jane and Peter as like very good friends, and then maybe the final movie, if there was another trilogy, with them getting together, finally after them growing up, because obviously they were like together when they were in their late teens, young 20s. They would have been like in their 30s, so by that time, like starting a family, like, so it would have been Spider-Man, because that was the version I've always liked, was
the Spider-Man wedding,
where he's a Spider. Yeah, he's not a teenager.
He's an adult, like a legit adult.
Yeah, because when I
that's
read the
Spider-Man.
books or I watched the cartoon, he was always in college or already like an adult. So, that was like my version of Spider-Man. Villains. I mean, Vulture. I didn't think you could ever make a good Vulture movie, but then, like, Michael Keaton knocked it out the park with the Vulture.
Yeah, but was that a good?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that character was a good version. I would have liked to see the Lizard. I would have liked to see Dylan Baker become the Lizard, because he was in 2 and he was in 3, and it was like they had, because he goes to him for help when he has a symbiote to like figure out what it is, and it's like, yeah, so now it would be reversed, and Spider-Man would try to help him try to become human again. But other characters, yeah, your Craven was probably not one of my favorites. But looking back, I think it would be kind of interesting of like some dude who's trying to hunt down Spider-Man.
Yeah. Absolutely, like a real feral take on him.
Yeah, like.
I mean, that's the thing that, sometimes you have an idea of someone and like, oh, I don't see how they can be a movie thing, but then they come out like Michael Keaton Vulture. Like, that was badass. When you gave me that Craven book, I think it was Craven's Last Hunt, I'm like, what's this gonna be about? Craven? Yeah. And I was like,
Doesn't he kill himself?
It's this
I
whole
heard.
thing, and I'm like, you know what? This is actually pretty fucking good. Like, so if you come up with all these ways you got to be creative.
Yeah, it's like he would have been like Steve Irwin if he was like on steroids, like, and just a bad dude.
I can see it being more horror, like. Again, if Sam Raimi did it and making it more like terror based, like, dude, someone's hunting me. Yeah, that's why, and he's like legit coming after him, and extreme close ups, and
You have to put Chameleon in there.
Yeah,
as
that
his
would have been
brother.
cool. That way,
their brothers hunting Spider-Man.
Yeah, because Chameleon can change into anybody, and that would be kind of interesting, where they maybe frame Spider-Man for something, and then J. Jonah's on him, and you get that, like, they're hunting Spider-Man down, and they bring in Kraven the Hunter to because he's hunted all kinds of animals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, yeah, if you were gonna do Gwen Stacy, then I think you would have had to bring back Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, saying he survived somehow, which is funny now because he's in No Way Home, which we'll probably see and review.
No, I wouldn't bring him back.
No,
I'd go somewhere else.
You get the old
You
butler.
bring a hobgoblin,
The
the
butler
old butler,
becomes
the one that
the
tells
hobgoblin.
Bernard.
Harry.
See, that's
you could have told me before my face got blown into hell.
That's
my
a better
best friend
thing.
didn't kill my dad.
That's a better thing in the editor's cut. I think it's not that. I think Harry looks at a photo of them all together from high school, and that's what makes him go help Peter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think he still told. I thought he
No,
did.
I don't think so. I remember being like, why didn't they keep that in there?
Yeah.
Because again with that Bernard thing where he's like, I've seen some stuff and it was your father, blah, blah, blah. Why didn't you say that in the beginning?
Why didn't you say it at the end, beginning of part 2?
But yeah, in the editor's cut, I think.
Yeah, he just goes because it's his friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need an explanation.
He doesn't
It
need-
just, I need to go help my friend.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah, that's way better than. Oh, by the way, sir,
Yeah,
man,
because
I
when I
would've
see
fired him on
when
the
I see
spot.
them, yeah, like dude, we're like, but I've wiped your bottom, Master Osborn. I'm like, get the fuck out of here! Look at my face.
My
Look at
dad's
my
dead.
fucking face.
I lost millions.
I lost millions because of you, Bernard.
Billions.
Yeah.
Can I have the day off tomorrow?
Yeah.
You're fired.
You can have the day off every day.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
I'll be back tomorrow.
You know what? Fuck it. I can't be mad at you, Bernard.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
I mean,
good.
I would have liked to see more, but it is what it is. We're getting Sam Raimi making this Doctor Strange movie.
Say that over again.
All right. Well, that was our take on the Spider-Man trilogy. We'll see what happens when No Way Home comes out. We'll probably talk about the Amazing Spider-Man movies next. Other things to probably look forward to. I think we'll probably talk about the Matrix movies before Matrix Resurrections comes out, and whatever else we want to talk about. So
Thank you for listening.
thank you for listening.
Glorp.
We love you.
No.